Taco Day.
Oh, Taco Day. I did see that.
Oh, yeah.
Did you have any?
Did I have tacos?
No. Did you have fish?
I did not have tacos.
I'm about to have some when we get out of here. Sounds good. Glow just texted me she's eating like fajitas or some shit, or maybe they're tacos. I don't know. It looked really fucking good.
Wow.
What episode are we on?
35.
35. I'm excited to hit the 50 number. I know we're still a ways away, but I'm working toward that.
Dope. Yeah.
Did you listen to any music over the weekend?
I did.
What'd you listen to?
The Carter 5 and Young Sinatra Quattro.
What'd you think? Big dog?
I thought the Carter 5 was surprisingly good.
Why surprisingly?
I don't know. I was pleasantly surprised. I was expecting the worst, but I got the best. And I thought Young Sinatra 4 was really good too. I've been playing those pretty much on repeat. Like, I honestly like most of the songs on those projects.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's saying something because they're both pretty lengthy projects, especially Carter 5.
I know. I feel like, I don't know. Especially, I feel like there was a lot of songs on the Carter 5 that I could tell were made a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's why I liked a lot of them. It was just
because you're that old head.
It was just more reminiscent of the Lil Wayne that I remember and love.
That's what I kept thinking while I was listening to Wayne's. I was like, because I went into it very hesitant, not knowing what to expect. Like, I haven't been over the last 5 years or so. I don't know if it's been 5 years, but it kind of feels like it's been that long. When Wayne puts out a record, I'm not necessarily clamoring for it. But yeah, this sounded like there's records on there that he's been sitting on. And pardon my lisp, I got my retainer in right now. I don't know why, but that's going to be a thing. But yeah, I was just like, I was super pleased with the album. Like, a little lengthier than I would have wanted, but that's a stupid thing to complain about if it's good music. And overall, it wasn't like I got done with it and was like, classic Wayne, like that shit is. But I was pleasantly surprised, like you said. I was happy. I was pleased with it. And holy shit, dude. Did you see his first week numbers?
Yeah, crazy.
He's looking at over 450,000.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah. That took me by surprise too. But I mean,
we were disrespecting him on the pod saying he was going to be outsold by Logic. That was not even close.
But he really came with a really quality project. Like, I wasn't really.
That's not like. Does that contribute to his numbers? Absolutely, it does. But
I think
he was going to shit on Logic if that was a garbage project.
Yeah,
you don't do 450,000 out of nowhere, like just because the project's good. Like that'll help your numbers over time. But first week, he had people wanting to listen to that shit.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's a testament to what he's done for hip hop over the years, like his staying power, his lane. I think it's even a little bit of his sales are a little bit of credit to the older generation is like a little more willing to buy music and stuff like that because he covers such a wide fan base. He has older, because he's an older rapper.
His age groups are way more vast.
Yeah, but I've heard it's doing amazing on streaming and everything, so I'm not saying that's like the reason. It's just a contributing factor. But the guy, like, and I started thinking about Wayne, and it's just like there's not that many hip hop fans that like hate Wayne.
No,
he seems to just kind of do his own thing, and everybody likes him, and it's weird.
I don't know why you would hate Wayne.
But it's just funny because it's not like he's just your everyday friendly neighborhood rapper. Like, but he doesn't really have that many enemies or anything, or people that hate him and whatever. If you don't love his music, you just don't like his music and you move on. You know what I mean? Like, you see people hating on Kanye, you see people hating on Eminem, you see people.
But I feel like that's because, like, can you really name like a crazy event outside of music that Wayne has been a part of.
Right.
Like, he's not really a personality outside of his music.
I mean, yeah, I can see what you mean. For someone that's as popular as him, he's not seen, super often doing much shit.
No.
He kind of just stays in the studio and...
Yeah, like, I mean, he doesn't really, he's a studio rat. Like, he was one of the first, new age hip hop studio rats that just put out a shit ton of shit all the time, and that's pretty much what he did.
And listening to his album reminded me, because I've heard, even before his album dropped, lots of people will look at the new generation of hip hop with the hair and the face tats and auto-tune, whiny voice stuff, and be like they're they're hip hop rap kids of Wayne. And I can see that for sure, especially image wise, but even a lot of sound wise. But I always listened to a lot of them, and I never get the feeling of Wayne. And when I heard Wayne, I realized why. And a lot of it for me, this is my personal thing, is I can definitely hear and see image and sound what people are talking about when they say that. But Wayne can rap.
Right.
And that's the difference.
Yeah. It's not just the feeling.
Right. He gives you all that stuff that these other kids now give you, which is cool. And it was it was super unique when Wayne was doing it.
Right.
But he also could rap. Right. And he was floating on a lot of these tracks. And like, he'll throw in some, corny bars here and there but Wayne has always done that because everything is a bar to him. Like he doesn't waste any lines. He's always trying to give you some punchline or some whatever. Right. So some of them are going to come off as, not genius, but he's always trying to rap. And I think that's what separates him being the mega star that he is and being able to cross over generations, as opposed to some of these younger kids they have the image of him, they have certain sound qualities of him, but they can't rap like him.
Right. Yeah.
And then, man, we've talked about Logic a lot on this podcast, and I've never really been super negative about Logic, but I've also never been overly positive about him.
Right.
I was really impressed with this.
Yeah, I was
Young
too.
Sinatra 4. This is actually some of my favorite work I've heard from him.
I was impressed by the fact that he was able to capture the essence of his old mixtapes.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me.
Well, that's the thing. A lot of times he'll talk about, because Logic's the type of rapper that if he's going to do this on a track, he'll tell you, this is that boom bap, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
he'll let you know. Right. But a lot of times it doesn't actually live up to what he's saying, even though you feel
that's a lot of artists, though.
Yeah, you feel what he's trying to get across, but it's not really. To me, this project was all the way there.
Yeah, for sure.
He's looking at selling I think 160,000 first week, which is right in line with Logic numbers. What you'd expect. And to be honest, I've been so busy over the last week, I haven't really dove into what the general population's thoughts are on these projects and stuff like that. I'm just giving my opinion off one listen of each of them. Right. But yeah, one thing I really liked about Logic on this project too, was that I've always said Logic can rap. There's no denying that to me. Logic is a rapper. But he also at times can get caught up in the rapidy rap. Yeah. The lyrical miracle.
Yep.
And he's also a good storyteller when he wants to be. Right. And I think this project, he had the storytelling, he had his rapidy rap moments, but to me, for whatever reason, whether it be the beat, the mix, the times he chose to do it, it really flowed well when he did it. And something I noticed more than I've ever noticed before on especially recent Logic projects, he had some really good lines. Clever, witty, one-line bars. Yeah. And I'm not saying he's never had that. I'm not acting like this is out of the blue, but with someone that puts out so much material and is kind of a lyrical miracle rapper at times, or is always preaching some message, sometimes those clever, witty bars can just not happen for a while. And this is the first project as a whole. It wasn't just one song he did that. It was the project as a whole where I was listening and just hearing different lines that I was like, wow, this is, because that's always been my favorite hip hop. Storytelling that has clever lines, and obviously you can't ignore the beat, but if we're just talking about an artist writing and rapping. And he did it, and I love the beats. I mean, you know me, I came up with in hip hop, like the thing that got me into hip hop was those style beats, and even that type of rapping. So that hit home with me. I was really impressed with that project.
Yeah. I thought it was really good. Like, it was kind of crazy because I listened to both of those projects back to back, and both of them just like over exceeded my expectations by so much.
Yeah,
that it was like,
it was really cool to have.
And it's been a while since that's actually happened.
Well, yeah, to have some big projects that are coming out, you kind of, you know, you always expect, I guess it's the critic and the cynic in you when you're actually going to listen to these. Even when we do this podcast, I tend to now listen with a more critical ear than I did when I knew I wasn't going to have to like talk about this project. And so things tend to always be on the side of disappointing which sucks, and it shouldn't be that way. But no, I was really happy, and I still can't believe Wayne's numbers, like, holy shit. But yeah, I mean, good projects. And another bit of a surprise, Yandhi sold 0 albums the first week. Got shit on by Logic and Wayne.
Dude, what a fucking joke.
Yeah, I don't even want to talk about any Kanye. But yeah, I'm actually glad his shit didn't drop, because Logic's was good, Wayne's was good. I'm glad those were the albums.
So that he couldn't ruin it.
Yeah, I am. I'm glad that those got the light, and not Kanye shit, and he can do whenever he's gonna do his shit. But whatever. Like, I don't understand how, like, a week before this is supposed to come out, you're promoting that it's coming out. And then, like, a week before, you should know I'm not going to be able to put this out.
Dude, he's like a media whore. Yeah. Like, that's what he is. It, like, sickens me.
I guess we didn't start off the podcast, but just for those that don't know this, Aaron, big show tonight at the Loft in Lansing. Mm-hmm. If you're not there, you're fucking up.
As in Friday. Today.
Right.
The day that you're listening.
Right.
Because Taco Day is Thursday.
Okay.
The day that we're recording this.
What's the best way we do? Like, should we just do like we've always done and explain it every time, or should we just talk like it's Friday?
We might just want to talk.
I think we should
Friday.
get in the habit of talking like it's Friday.
I just thought it was too funny. I had to mention Taco Day.
No, but we can't. Like, we can still do that, but we just have to get in the mode where you say, like, yesterday was Taco Day.
Yeah,
shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We'll learn.
We're moving this podcast soon, though. Anyway.
What do you mean?
Friday's getting played out.
Oh yeah, but we're still gonna have that.
No, I know. I'm just saying.
Yeah. No, I agree. Friday is getting a little played out. Like, most people I know, and myself included, you don't listen to podcasts on the weekend.
No.
It's like a going to school, going to work, traveling, commuting type thing.
Right.
And so putting a podcast out Friday is like kind of
doesn't make sense.
Yeah. But yeah, big show tonight at the Loft in Lansing, performing a lot of songs I haven't performed because you guys picked the set list. Sway and Tone, who are some local guys. Apollo, you guys know him. Marcus, the Green Mitten Boys are going to be there. Q, Dags is going to try to get there. He's in South Carolina right now, but he's trying to get back in time, which reminds me I got to send him the time that shit's going down. But yeah, everybody's going to be in the building. Aaron's going to be there. Glove's going to be there.
Aaron might not be there.
What? Okay.
She's got a ref.
Oh, okay. Well, Glove's
my wife is a NCAA volleyball ref, and she has a match scheduled.
Catch her on the Big Ten Network.
Well, maybe. I don't know. I don't know if it's that big time, but sometimes it is.
Tickets will be available at the door for those of you that don't make your decision till the last minute. But yeah, we're looking forward to that. What else? Oh, I went live on Instagram the other day. So shout out everyone that came in there. I played some rough drafts of some music. I got a lot of unreleased music that I played for you guys. That was fun. Hadn't done that in a while, but yeah. Back to the topics, I guess. You got anything on deck for us? I got something I want to talk about.
What?
So I've never been, I guess I'm getting into it a little more recently, but I'm still not into it. The YouTube world of, like, there's a whole different world of YouTube creators, and it's like it's its own thing. Like, most people live in the world of, you know, actors and music artists as the celebrities, and like news outlets like, CNN, CBS, Fox as news outlets. Well, there's a whole nother world that's YouTube.
Right.
And there's entertainers and celebrities within YouTube that the general public has no idea about, but they're huge.
Right.
And there's even like big YouTube channels that cover these other YouTube celebrities and stuff. So like I knew all that existed, but I was never really into it. I was never really interested. But I got wind of this whole Shane Dawson series on Jake Paul, who most of you probably know who these guys are. Like I knew who they were, but I didn't really know shit about Shane Dawson. I knew who Jake Paul was, and I thought he was a fuck, but I never like really knew that much about him. I've seen him in certain things, and I was like, this guy looks like a douche, seems like a douche. Moved on, right? Yep. But I was interested. He's doing a series on him, and so I started to watch. They're like 40-minute episodes. Have you watched any of it?
Mm-hmm.
You have. Are you caught up?
Yeah.
Oh, so we can talk about this.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, and I know a lot of you guys watch our podcast on YouTube, so you're probably familiar with what we're talking about. So this is a cool topic, but I think this series sucks. And I know Jake Paul is like widely hated and lots of people, like especially our age group, because Jake Paul's got like a really young fan base. And lots of people really like Shane Dawson, what he does. He's not necessarily like some polarizing figure.
No.
But that doesn't mean that I have to like everything he does. And his whole premise of like Jake Paul is a sociopath and all his findings basically, they like lead back to everyone being a sociopath. And his whole way of going about this thing with like his shock factors, like he'll say the most basic shit, or he's talking to someone trying to find out, what a sociopath is like, and they're talking about different things. And just the faces he makes and the stuff he says that's like to basic things just rub me the wrong way. And to be honest, I've watched, there's 4 episodes now. I've watched it. It's interesting enough, like it's entertaining enough where I'll watch to the end, especially because Jake Paul hasn't even been in it yet. He's not in it till the 5th episode. And so I think hopefully it'll get more interesting then. So I'm going to stick with it till the end. But what have we even seen so far? The best thing I've heard from it is just that it's been confirmed by one of Jake's friends that all the pranks and all that shit is fake.
Yeah.
Other than that, what have we even found out? There was a whole episode of him talking to the woman, I forget her name, talking about sociopaths, and it was literally 40 minutes of nothing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it really wasn't. There was something in there. I think it's not. It's trying to understand certain aspects that he's trying to connect with Jake Paul that aren't necessarily very interesting if you're trying to relate it all to Jake Paul. I think is kind of the biggest thing. Because the thing is, like, there's interesting views and interesting like things going on in it, but I don't think a lot of it has to do with Jake Paul. Like he's trying to like relate a lot of this stuff in a roundabout way to Jake Paul, and there's certain things that I agree with you with that are kind of like.
I wish he wouldn't have done the whole sociopath thing. I wish he would have said, I'm going to do this, like, whatever.
To what,
behind
though?
the scenes,
like what?
Look into Jake Paul as a YouTuber. Like, the whole sociopath thing, I think is...
But he's kind of you have to come
bumbling his way through that.
You have to come at it like any documentary, like video or series or whatever.
It's
that
like
you
a
watch.
Question, like
did he come at it
murder? Did he blah blah blah?
Well, you have to come at it from a different perspective though too, as far as like how many videos do you think are out on YouTube just literally deep diving into Jake Paul and Logan Paul's life?
Okay, so come up with something, but the whole sociopath thing seems pretty, I don't know. And I guess, okay, maybe it's not even the fact that he chose the sociopath thing. It's just the way he's going about it. Like, he's not convinced, and I'm not saying he's not convincing me of Jake being a sociopath, because that's fine. He's just not even giving me the right information. I
think the beauty of it is he's trying to find it himself, though. I think all he's trying to do is just bring you along for the ride of him trying to.
I just think a lot of the things he's doing in it are pretty cringeworthy. Like at one point, he literally brings up a photo of Jake and Logan before Jake was about to be in that boxing match. Do you even know what I'm talking about? They're in the back of like a nice car with some.
Oh yeah.
It was an Instagram photo from like Logan or something, or maybe it was Jake. I don't know, but of a nice car with some like flashy suits on.
Yeah.
And yeah, do they look douchey? Yeah, they look douchey. But he says something like, I think I have the clip actually. What does he say? Oh, here he is. And I wish you guys could see, because along with what he's saying, there's like facial expressions that are like, like
no,
he's so
yeah,
terrified. But
weird. I mean, this picture, that looks like two fucking straight up sociopaths planning their next move. Right? Oh, the caption. Let's go.
he goes, look at the caption. The caption says "Let's go" with a boxing glove.
No,
emoji
I remember
before
that.
a boxing match, and they just have serious faces in the picture. And are they dressed like douchey? Okay,
Yeah.
but nothing about it is like or
No.
sociopath. It's just two brothers going to do a boxing match, and the caption says "Let's go." This should not be in the video. What is this?
No, but
Here's one of the worst ones. And there were a bunch of them, but I didn't want to do a whole like Adam 22 thing like I did that one week. But I had to give a couple, examples just to prove to you guys what I'm talking about. But this one was absurd to me too. He's talking about this is a YouTube video Jake put up. I don't know when, but it's basically just giving people like background on who he is and how he grew up and whatever, right? So this is what that audio is.
Agent, and from the time I can remember, my parents instilled in Logan and I a great work ethic and a competitive spirit. Whatever we did, we wanted to be the best at, and we had the work ethic to match that.
Right when he says whatever we did, we wanted to be the best at, they put that boom, and they cut to Shane looking at the camera like, that's crazy.
yeah.
Okay, it's not, but continue.
My brother and I would always train and work out to become better at playing football. My dad, Logan, and I would train all the time and push our limits to become better athletes. We would always see who could run faster, do more push-ups, and so on. Right around this time, my dad bought my brother and I a camera so we could record our football games, watch them back, and see how we could improve. My mom would be the filmer, and she was also our biggest fan. And our dad was the head coach of our Pee Wee League team. Football aside, Logan and I took the camera and...
Like, I'm not a therapist, but your dad's the coach. And then you have to watch it again. And they tell you what you did wrong.
The competitive spirit thing is a lot. Logan and I took the camera.
I'm not a therapist, but your dad is the coach. That's the competitive spirit thing is a little odd. The competitive spirit is good. More people need to have competitive spirit. And like your dad is the coach. We're talking about kids. Oh, dads coach every kid's sports team.
Yeah.
Because it's his dad isn't crazy. Like, and it's just the way he's like making that seem by his looks and the sound effects and whatever. I think it makes Shane look stupid.
I mean, but I guess that's the thing is like, yeah, to us, because we're brothers, we're competitive. Like we're kind of brought up with competitive spirit too. Like it's not an absurd thing for us. But did Shane get brought up with competitive spirit? Probably not.
But I don't look at somebody that's not that way and say,
yeah. So you're
sociopath.
You're more
Like, no.
You're more well-rounded in that way than Shane probably is. But there's certain blind spots that you have in your life that he probably doesn't.
But that's
have.
where I go to the whole sociopath thing, because it's like, I'm not saying someone can't relate to another person. I'm saying you cannot draw parallels between someone's dad coaching them in football and teaching them to have a competitive spirit and sociopathic tendencies.
Right.
It's
no, I agree.
What are you talking about?
No, I totally agree. But I guess that's the beauty of who Shane is on YouTube, I guess, is you're not a Netflix special. He has his own channel.
Yeah, and that's cool. But I'm just saying, I see that though. I'm not saying he shouldn't be allowed to do this, because Jake signed off on it. He's not just randomly doing this.
No. I mean, that's the thing is I understand.
I'm just saying he's wrong. Like when he's making these when he's drawing these conclusions, I think they're false conclusions.
Good. And that's what you should say. Like, but I think that's the reason, like, and he wants to hear that. Like, he will even say in a lot of his videos, like, he'll admit when he's wrong on
and that's cool.
things.
And I've seen he'll like assess he'll look for response on his videos and he'll assess it and he'll respond.
Right.
And that's cool. Like, this is by no means like, I think Shane Dawson's fucking whack. I'm talking about this specific series, what I'm watching. There's just lots of things that I think are stupid that he's doing. And that's just my opinion.
I think there's lots of things that are stupid, but there's also lots of things that are eye-opening.
I think and that's why I keep watching. I think it's really interesting to see someone that lives that life. Like, it's literally, it's insane.
No, it is insane.
And it's cool that someone is trying to see what's going on there.
Right.
He's just losing me with a lot. Like, I think there's, I guess what's disappointing is I do think that is very interesting and a thing to look at. I wish he was looking at certain other things and not some of the things he is.
Yeah.
I guess that's part of the thing. When he goes into that stuff and draws these false conclusions, I'm like, God, not only is that wrong, but there could be interesting stuff you could be looking into, and this isn't it.
Yeah.
So hopefully more of that stuff does come out when he actually goes and talks to Jake and stuff like that. Because it's an 8-part series. There's only been 4. So, like,
I mean, but that I guess that's the thing is like, what can he really look into? He doesn't really have access to a lot of, like, he didn't talk to any of the family members. Who has he really talked to other than?
I was hoping more would come out from Nick Crompton.
Yeah, other than him, who has he talked to?
Because Nick Crompton basically made Jake seem like a sympathetic figure, like a actual decent dude that got thrust into not thrust in, but he's in this situation. He basically, it seems like, in a nutshell, obviously there's a lot more to it, but he's almost making it seem like Jake and Logan are just people that are interested in money and fame through YouTube and will do it at all costs.
Right. But technically, like, I get the sociopath pursuit because it makes it interesting to watch, because you can take those risks and go like certain places, whereas like
that whole at the beginning, the whole the false like attack on that girl.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with all the people in this shit because I don't keep up with Jake Paul. But whoever that girlfriend was that he claimed, I think it was like Jake claimed this other guy dragged his assistant out of some like put his hands on it, and it just turned out to be completely false.
Yeah, it was just there
that
was
stuff. That stuff is
truth to it.
That makes someone look crazy. I don't care what you're
because
that was real. Like he really was telling people this.
But
happened.
there's a lot of things that Jake and Logan Paul do that are insane.
Yeah,
like not even like, oh, that dude's crazy. Like literally insane.
Yeah. And trust me. Let me put this disclaimer. I'm not a fan of the Pauls. But
it does make you wonder, because people, they are like that. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, see, because the thing is, like, certain people can say, like, they're empathetic and everything like that, but are they really? Because there are, like, that's why he's trying to explore it, is because it is an interesting topic as far as, like, dude, there are people out there that literally just want to learn about other people and literally use the world as their chessboard.
Yeah.
Like, and it's more common than what people think.
Yeah, I am interested in the topic. And I guess that's the only reason I even bring it up and say I'm a little disappointed so far, is because I do think it's interesting and worth it. And I do think he does a good job with stuff, and he could do a really good job with this shit. And I think I think he's dropping the ball a little bit so far, personally.
Like, but I guess, okay,
I haven't
you have things that you disagree with, but as of, like, I guess I'm confused.
What have you learned?
What have I learned?
What has been real interesting to you in this shit?
Well, first of all, I didn't know a lot about Jake Paul to begin with.
Right, but okay,
so.
but lots of people do. So and you could just like, you could figure that out on your own. I'm saying, what is he really like uncovered?
I mean, well, his
or
like
discovered, or like conclusion has he drawn that you're like?
I mean, I think it's super interesting that, like, the thing is, I like when things are displayed to me in a way that I'm kind of already thinking to begin with, like him going into Jake's mom and dad. Like, how healthy is that to like have a mom and dad that are okay with just like
I like that.
Like, that is interesting to me.
That stuff is very
weird.
interesting to me, of the whole dynamic of cameras are on at all times, and your mom and your dad are like that. And
I like him sifting through clips that are relevant of like, what the fuck? Like, this is weird. Like, this isn't.
And I guess those are the
and
things.
I can't do the groundwork like that.
Right.
Like, I don't care enough in order to do that.
Right. And maybe I'm holding him to too high of a standard. Like, he's one dude in a small team of like just trying to go figure this shit out. It's like you said, it's not Netflix.
He's bringing you through his personal journey to try to figure this out.
I mean, it's interesting enough for me to want to watch every episode. There's just certain things. I guess you've brought me closer to my conclusion so far of just, I guess it's less about the whole thing in general and more about the many cringeworthy moments.
Yeah, and I agree. There are a few cringeworthy moments of like those two examples were the ones in my head of,
and there's more.
Like,
those are just the
there's definitely more, but I also think that Shane is not. He's not really like me though. Like, there's in our upbringing or even my personality type, like, he's not really like me. So there are certain things that I'm gonna be like, really, you feel this way about that?
Well, yeah, but because of that, because I recognize that, I don't want somebody that's not like me going so far as to question, am I a sociopath because I'm not like them?
No, but
I know that's not what's happening, because I'm not like Jake Paul either. So.
Well, and it's not what's really happening either, because I think there's overlying things in the episode that he keeps showing of like Jake and Logan doing crazy ass shit, and
or like the whole girlfriend thing,
abusing people and things like that.
That's
like,
pretty nuts.
Yeah,
the whole girlfriend thing,
and whether or not like some of it is fake and things like that. Like, the bottom line is, for somebody to be able to just do that or to even fake it, there has to be some fucked up.
Yeah, I agree. That was actually
person.
one of the most fucked up things and like sociopathic things I saw in it. Was I surprised that like all those pranks and stuff were fake? No. Is it interesting to actually get it confirmed by someone that was part of him? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I would have assumed the whole girlfriend thing was fake.
Yeah.
And the fact that it wasn't is like super fucked up.
Yeah. No,
that's sociopathic shit.
No, it is. I know. There's a lot of things that he was bringing to light that I'm like, holy shit. Like,
I will concede I jumped the gun a bit on saying the whole sociopath thing is crazy, and it's like,
because I do feel
far,
like
whatever.
those little things. The biggest thing that bothered me was the competitive spirit thing, because I do think he harped on that a little too much, that I was like, dude, you obviously didn't get brought up in a family that
talk to anybody that played sports,
right?
Like that's in the sports.
Yeah, you obviously did not play much sports in your life in order to even get what is even centered around that. Like,
or even just forgets like sports for sure, but also just like siblings. Like, if you had a brother around the same age as you, that like that type of shit has just happened.
Yeah, exactly. But there's the other things that, were cringeworthy. I kind of do feel like he threw him in there because he felt a certain way about him and didn't really talk about him all that much. It was just like a 30-second thing he threw in there and moved on. But there are certain things that he has and he keeps showing throughout the entire series.
But I guess that's where, and I don't want to keep getting into this, but like you just said, there's just certain things he threw out there because it's how he felt and he didn't harp on him. And I'm okay with that. And even if there's a little bit of humor in it, like if he would have shown that picture I'm talking about before the boxing match and he would have zoomed in like he did and goes, those looks like two sociopaths plotting their next move, whatever. Mm-hmm. Would I think, obviously that's wrong if we're talking seriously? Yeah, but I also would have been like, I would have probably written that off as just a little bit of humor.
Yeah.
But when he goes, that caption, it says, let's go.
No, I know.
But he was serious.
No, I know.
And that's the shit that I'm like, bro, what?
No, I know.
What caption could he have
But the thing is, it's not,
he can't put
it's
let's
not
go.
like he's going back to these certain, like,
I know,
in the next episode, if he goes back and he's like, but you remember that caption?
I know.
Like, then I would be like, okay.
But
like,
it doesn't change the fact that it was cringe.
No, it is. And I agree with you. There are a lot of moments like that. But yeah, it's not like he's hinging his whole case on, Do you remember that one caption that he put, "Let's go" with the boxing glove next to it?
Yeah.
It all comes full circle.
Every time he gets a phone call or goes to a new place, it's
yeah. And that the whole thing, like the reason why I don't regularly watch Shane is because I can't. My personality type has a hard time watching somebody that's that sensitive
or that that sensitive and that dramatic.
Right.
But I don't question that he actually is like that, and I think that makes him who he is and makes his channel what it is and gives him the fan base that he has. And so it is what it is. It's just different type of people. But yeah, I guess I had to say my piece on that. But overall, I'm new to that whole world, and I'm new to Shane in general, and he's making 8 things that I'm gonna watch. So props, and millions and millions and millions of other people are watching. So
I just think it's fascinating.
Right?
Jake and Logan Paul have always fascinated me because I'm like, how can people like those people?
It's
I don't,
kids, bro,
dude. But even so, like parents, come on, seriously,
yeah,
like. How fucked up does our world have to be in order to like? Can you imagine like us being 9 years old and mom and dad being okay with us watching Logan and Jake Paul,
or the kids, or the parents that bring their kids to their house to stand outside of it in hopes of getting a glimpse of them.
Unbelievable.
And then when they came to like get them off their lawn and stuff, did you hear that lady yelling?
Yeah,
like. They make you famous.
Yeah.
That's some psycho, that's some psycho shit.
Parents are fucked up.
And she said it like 6 times. Be gentle with the children. They make you famous.
Oh my God.
That lady is insane.
Dude, but
that lady needs to be locked up.
That's the
like straight
Who
up.
are these kids that are just able to go to this house and like try to hang out with Jake Paul? Like why?
But that's the thing. The kids love him so much. And the parents are like, well, I can drive down the street and take them to have the time of their life just standing outside this person's house. So.
Without even questioning who the fuck he is?
No, I'm not saying I would do it. I'm saying I'm aware that there are parents out there that would do that.
Oh, I'm aware. And it really concerns me because that's like, after watching those 4 episodes, okay, self-admittedly, probably watched 1 Jake Paul video in my entire fucking life. Seeing some of those clips, like, what are these kids watching?
Yeah.
I can't imagine. Like, if I found out my 10-year-old kid is watching Jake
I'd be
Paul,
like, go get outside.
I would be so pissed.
I'd be like, get outside and ride your bike.
The internet would be blocked for 4 years. That would be insane.
Yeah.
There is no way. And another thing, too, just so everybody knows, there would be no way my kid would even be watching that because all of those channels will be fucking blocked.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you do have to cut parents some slack. Like you know what you're doing with all that, and you're aware of all these things going on, partly because of your interests, partly because of what you do. Like there's lots of parents that just have no idea
okay,
but
stuff
that's out there, or even how to combat it.
That's fine. But here's the thing though. Are these kids like vocally? I feel like Jake Paul lives and eats because these kids feel like they can be so vocally about him and stuff like that, and their parents are fine with it. A great example is, did mom and dad ever know that I was listening to Eminem when I was younger? No. How would you know? You wouldn't. I never vocalized it until I didn't have to care.
Yeah.
And there were just like, it wasn't like I was sending Eminem fan mail every day or anything like that.
But
like,
there's lots of kids
I wasn't hanging
there's lots of kids that were your age that were hanging posters and listening to Eminem, and their parents knew about it though and didn't give that. Like that was just our parents. There's lots of parents that aren't.
But I think that's fucked up. Like honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want my kid taking that shit in.
Honestly, because the thing is, at least our parents instilled the fact that like there's something about Eminem that's bad.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Just like read his lyrics.
But it was bad enough for me to not want to tell them about it or even show it.
Yeah.
I think that's important. Whether or not I
haven't watched enough Jake Paul content to know. I've seen enough clips to know that I wouldn't want my kid watching it, but I haven't seen enough to like when we talk about Eminem, I know what Eminem's lyrics were and I know what's in them, and I can say for a fact I wouldn't want like my kid or my whatever listening to that.
Right.
I don't know enough about Jake. I know he's a douche and a fucking...
He's a bad influence on your kid.
And a goof.
I don't know what else there is to know.
There's lots of shit out there that's not good shit for people to take in.
But constantly taking that in.
I know, but you could say that about so many TV shows, so many movies, so many YouTube channels. Like where do you draw the line? And I'm not not sitting here arguing for Jake Paul. I'm telling you, I haven't watched it enough to know that he's so much over the line compared to something you wouldn't
like. Compared to what?
About.
Like compared to what?
Know. Like I don't know. I can't think of it. Like I don't know. Like fucking Jackass or something like that. I don't know.
Jackass. I wouldn't want my kids watching that either.
Okay. I'm just telling you, like, go search through YouTube and you're going to find tons of shit that.
Agreed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're
YouTube
just block everything.
For a long time. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Fine.
I think more parents should be concerned about that.
All right. That's fine.
No? Am I wrong?
No, I'm not. I'm not.
I think that's the reason why we have such narcissistic kids in this day and age.
No, I think you're not wrong.
It's like, it's so weird to me. Like, how does Jake Paul have what? Over 10 million subscribers on YouTube? He's probably at like 14 million right now. 14 million.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
I know.
It's like insane. I don't know. I think the internet is just going to like ruin younger kids, and they're all gonna like think that like being like Jake Paul and other things that are fucking stupid and older people know is just a fantasy and not really real. They're actually
I'm not disagreeing. I'm not
thinking
disagreeing with you. At the same time though, you just got done talking about Eminem and how you listened to him as a kid. You just didn't show your parents. So how is a kid that's taking in, and I'm not equating, Jake Paul and Eminem are two different types of bad for your kid. But because that's just the examples we were talking about, how are you?
I think they have a lot of similarities.
Okay, but how are you differentiating? Like you keep talking about, I think these kids are fucked and these kids are going to be this way and that and blah, blah, blah. And you listen to Eminem.
It's because there's no shame. There's no line in these kids' heads anymore. It's like, at least I knew.
You don't know that though. You're just talking about the kids that have their parents bring them to, like, you don't know how many kids, like, either their parents might just be ignorant to it, or I bet you most kids, their parents aren't actively supporting them watching this.
That's
guy.
fine. But here's the thing is, it might be the parents' fault. It might not be the kid's fault, but it might be the parents' fault as far as like, dude, there's too many parents these days claiming ignorance on how to work.
Your parents were ignorant of you listening to Eminem?
But there was no way for them to stop me.
How?
How is there a way for them to...
Take your CD away. That's what we had.
They didn't know I had it.
Okay.
How are they supposed to... Are they supposed to take my CD player away?
These kids have so many devices now, and they have places to go.
So
if they want to watch it... If a kid wants to watch... You tell me this. If you can do whatever you want to the stuff in your home, right? If a kid wants to watch a YouTube video, this day and age, they're going to find a way to watch that YouTube video. You can make it more difficult for them.
Yeah, that's all that I'm saying.
Okay, that's fine, but it's not going to...
But what I'm saying is there's too many parents these day and age that don't make it difficult.
Okay.
And they claim ignorance on how to even make it difficult, which is not an excuse.
But it's probably true.
But that's... Dude, all you have to do is go literally...
You don't have to tell me how to do it. I'm just saying, dude, you should know better than anyone how many technologically illiterate people there are out there. And they genuinely don't know.
Okay, do they genuinely not know, or have they not even tried?
I don't know. I think there's a mix of both.
I think there's a difference.
I know. I do think there's a difference. And I think
it's more so that people don't care enough to try.
Yeah. Well, whatever. I didn't mean to turn this into a get off my lawn conversation. But
it's not a get off my lawn conversation. Because the thing is, I think there's too many people
I didn't mean to turn it into how we were ruining the youth with...
No. Because, okay, the thing is, oh, poor us, we have too much technology to police. Oh, darn. Like, so what do? Do we just literally be like, well, I can't help it if my kids watch these certain things? Is that what we do?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so why can't we make the extra effort to make sure that it is at least hard for our kids to access this stuff?
Good luck. So many things, and I don't like I said, I wasn't trying to get into this big broad discussion, but I will say this: if you want to take it even more generally, yeah, I think lots and lots of issues that people complain about this day and age, or not even complain about, but just issues that people think are issues that want these things to be solved, are generally able to be solved, and best solved within a family structure.
Yeah.
Like parents doing something about kids and raising your kids in a way that you want them to become.
Doing the hard things that parents are supposed to be doing.
Yeah, it's not up to, like, so many things are just blamed on society. Well, society is a big-ass group of people. And these people, like, and I can only speak from my experience, and I know other people are different. There's lots of people that don't have both parents in the house. There's lots of people that are, raised different ways. Yeah. And that's fine. But whatever way you were raised, I think I can speak for myself and a lot of people around me that, yeah, we went to school. Yeah, we did a lot of different things. I spent lots of time away from home. But who I am at my core is a lot just the way I was raised, and how I was brought up. Yes. And I think that's the case with a lot of people. And so when you talk about society is a group of people that came together and formed a society. Right. And however they are is a lot to do with how they were raised. So if you want to change something, start by
our parents made it very hard for us to get access to the things that we weren't supposed to have access to.
I know, I agree.
So I guess that's my only point.
I hated them for it.
Yeah, I know. But you see it now.
We didn't have cable till I was like a fucking senior in high school.
We weren't allowed to have violent video games for a long time.
I got that Perfect Dark. I was in it.
Yeah, but that was a long... I know,
I'm saying when I got
Perfect Dark was old by the time we were actually able to play it.
I know.
But and you're right. That didn't mean that we weren't playing it.
They didn't let us watch Friends.
No.
That's innocent as shit.
Yeah, but for a kid, it's not, though. Like, that's the thing.
No, I get you. I hear you. I'm not disagreeing.
And yes, they had it easier because there wasn't as much to police.
It's very difficult this day and age.
It's super difficult. And I'm not saying that it's not. I'm just saying that, like, yeah, it might take more effort from parents, but
and don't get me wrong, you can do all the right things and your kid can still be fucked up. And your kid can still I'm not saying you just got to make it as hard as you possibly can.
It's the end all. Yeah, I mean, but yeah, I think that there's less of a chance.
Yeah. If you like Jake Paul and think he's dope, then let your kid watch him. And like the more your kids, I'm talking like I really know. Like I've been there. I haven't been there, but I've been a kid, and you develop like role models and people you look up to and stuff. And for me, it was like, athletes that I watched on TV, and I was really into basketball, and I wanted to be like these guys and shit. Right. Well, a kid that watches Jake Paul every day and is like standing out over him, I would say it's a fair thing to say there's a decent chance your kid is going to have certain characteristics that mimic that if that's what they're taking in every day. And trust me, you don't want your kid to be like that.
No, you don't. And you want to instill certain like conscious just morals, or like even just, dude, I can't even like explain it, but like the Perfect Dark example, like we weren't allowed to play it at home. Did that mean we couldn't go to a friend's house and play it without mom and dad knowing? No.
Right.
But at least
you didn't get as much of it.
In the back of our head, though, we were like, ooh, we shouldn't be playing this.
And you didn't get as much of it then.
Well, yeah, you didn't get as much of it, but at the same time, you knew that because your parents were against it, there was something you were not supposed to like about it, and that always stuck with you.
Yeah.
I think that's important, and I don't think a lot of kids are getting that.
All right.
And that's why Jake Paul has 14 million subscribers or whatever the fuck he has right now.
Fair enough.
Okay, dope.
I'm going to kick you off this podcast. You never come with any topics.
I'm really not feeling that great today.
Oh, whatever.
I'm not.
We got more shit to do tonight, so you better snap out of it.
Yeah, we might have to.
No.
What?
We got to get ready for the show, and it's tomorrow, so I don't know what you were going to say. We might have to, but
We've been doing shows.
No. So I have two. They're not long topics. They're just. It's been a while since I did the pet peeve, the random thoughts with Packy, and I have two of them this week.
Mm-hmm.
One of them is I am now officially too old for the "Where are you?" text or the "What are you doing?" text. Ask me what you want to ask me. Don't lead me into some shit. Or the yo text. Like, we don't need to go through all this shit before we get to what the fuck you're hitting me up about. Like, unless you're Gloria and like we just talk sometimes about our day, you should be hitting me up with something specific, and we don't need to like lead all into it with where, because, and then there's the other aspect of the whole like, where are you? My first thought is, what are you going to ask me to do? Like, what do you need from me? Yeah. And if I don't want to do it, I'm not trying to paint myself in some corner. It shouldn't be up to you to determine, okay, so if you want something from me that's in East Lansing, right? You need me to pick something up. And you say, where are you? And I say, oh, I'm actually in East Lansing eating lunch. And then you say, oh, great. You can go pick this up for me. Like, can you do this? It's right around the corner. Okay. Then I have to do it. Because I already told you I'm in East Lansing. Right. But it should be up to me to determine if that's convenient for me or if I want to do it. Right. So don't hit me with where are you. Say, can you pick this up for me in East Lansing? Yeah. I don't care if I'm right next door. If I don't want to do it.
Yeah, because then you should be able to say, oh, I am in East Lansing and I'll pick that up for you.
But exactly. Like, that's the favor. But then I feel dirty if I know, God, this isn't that big of a deal and they already know. I don't want to come up with some excuse why I can't. And then you just like, ugh. Right. Like, get to the point.
Right. Oh, I know.
That's pet peeve number one. Pet peeve number two doesn't directly apply to my life, thank God. But it's just a thought I've had in situations like this for a while when you hear about it from other people or you see it in TV shows or movies. Why do guys or girls, if your significant other cheats on you, if it's with a stranger, like you don't know this person, why do you get mad at them and go take it up with them?
What? As like the stranger?
No, yeah, as in the stranger. Why do you not, like, why would you not be upset and take it up with your significant other? Like, why does it have anything to do with this other stranger? I don't understand that. Like, your significant other cheated on you.
Yeah.
It's not their fault. It's not the stranger's fault.
No.
I don't understand. That, to me, that is completely misplaced. You don't have to like them. Like, if you saw them later on, you could be like, fuck you.
Right.
But there's so many situations where, like, the person seeks that stranger out.
Yeah.
And, like, beats their ass or whatever. Like, stay away from my wife type shit. If you need to go tell someone to stay away from your wife is a hoe and you should not be with her.
Right.
And that is your problem.
Right.
It's not this other dude. It's your whole wife.
Right.
That shit blows my mind every time.
No, that's just misplaced anger. And
if it's someone you know, different story. Like,
the thing is, like the wife situation, it's kind of just like, she's my wife. I should be mad at her. But for the unhealthy people, I need to take this anger out on somebody, and I don't want to take it out on my wife. Who is the next person in line for me to take this anger out on?
I guess. Like, it's not like I don't.
I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying that
it's not like I don't.
That's the thought process.
It's not like I don't understand the emotion because, and I'm not here saying you shouldn't have any feelings toward that person. No, it's fuck that person. Like, you don't fuck with that person.
Right.
Like I said, if you saw them in the streets later, like, different story.
Right.
I'm just saying to go seek them out in that situation is just crazy to me.
No, it is crazy.
And that's it. That's all I got.
That's because it is crazy.
That's been Wise Words with Packy.
Let's take this voicemail.
Yeah, we don't got much more time. Let's just do one.
Yo, what up? It's Richard. I'm from Pennsylvania.
It's good, Richard.
And I don't even know if this is going to be on next week's podcast because of the show or not. So, but fuck it.
No, we don't stop.
I've been listening to music a lot, your music a lot, and your podcast as well. And I noticed a common theme of the anti-Russ hate, which I completely agree with. He gets way too much hate. But then you have young Cyrus over here literally saying, y'all be so concerned about some buzz. You come across as insecure as Russ on one of his songs. And you got him over here making a song literally called Stop. So I guess what my question is is there ever a limit where you have to say, all right, that's enough is enough. Like, you have to censor your shit. Yeah. Love your music. Love your podcast. Keep it up.
Okay. I was with him. I was with Richard for the first half of his question, and then he kind of lost me. So I will try to address it the best way I can. Sorry if I misunderstood your question. I'll start by getting the second half out of the way. I don't really get what the second half of your question means as far as like Cyrus's song Thought. I don't get how that relates to the topic. And I also don't understand about censoring our shit. I didn't really get how that tied in. Did you?
I mean, the only thing that I can think of is like there's certain things that Cyrus says or does that don't necessarily reflect what we do.
Okay. Well, I'm glad.
I think that's like the undertone of everything.
I'm glad we got this question, because I do think sometimes people get caught up in like the Specktators. So, you know, or we get a tweet and it's like, it's at Cyrus, me, Marcus, you. Like, we are one label and a bunch of different individuals. So I don't have to agree with everything Mo says. Cyrus doesn't have to agree with anything we say as far as just opinions on stuff. So when you specifically reference that Rush shit, like, yeah, I would disagree. And he obviously disagrees with me.
Right.
That's fine.
Right.
That's not like, that's a disagreement.
Right.
So yeah, no one has to follow some like overall mission statement on thought. Like,
right.
Cyrus is a dope artist and we signed him. And he has every right to feel any type of way he feels. And we're not gonna, we're never gonna censor that. Like I want, because the goal with the Specktators is not for us to sign people and then we just have another artist under the Specktators. The idea is for these guys to have the Specktators push and everything that comes along with that and the fan base and the audience, and then go out and develop their own. Right. And you're never going to develop your own fan base if you're hiding behind the thoughts and beliefs of somebody else. You have to be yourself. Right. And so, yeah, if some of our artists' beliefs and thoughts don't line up on topics with ours, that's fine. Unless it was some crazy topic that's like, whoa, you're a different person than I thought. Hold up. Right. But no, I'm actually glad that question came in, because I do think some people think of us too much as one. Like, I love that the label gets so much love. And I like that you guys, anyone that we roll out, you guys give them a chance, which I love. And I don't want that to change, because there's a reason we sign all these guys. Right. But yeah, it doesn't have to be, we're individuals. We all believe different things. We all have different ways we do things. We've all had different ways we grew up and things we've been exposed to and stuff like that. So, and I think that's good. I don't think I'd want a label full of guys that
I think the biggest overview of that idea is we sign artists because we like their music. It's like what Packy said, it's not, we're not signing necessarily the individual to be a spokesperson towards whatever we believe personally.
But don't get that twisted. We're signing the individual. It's not just your music's dope, you're signed. We know who these, like...
Yeah. Like, they're good people, but that's... The thing is, you don't always have to agree with everybody's...
Exactly.
With everybody's ideals and things like that. Like, everybody is different. Everybody doesn't agree on everything.
It's just like any business.
If we did... we would never sign anybody.
No, it's just like any business,
Yeah. Well, but I guess it's not like any business because it's so public.
No. In that perspective, I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's like if you had a small business that you had a bike shop and you had 5 employees.
Yeah.
You wouldn't give a shit if those 5 employees had different.
No, but
thoughts
you
and
would.
stuff.
There's certain businesses though that would care if you publicly were doing something
True.
that was against.
And I guess people could think that we are that type of business. So
Right.
That's a good question.
And I get that. But yeah, because we're a music label and these artists have to channel their inner feelings and everything like that
They're
on
public figures
on a daily basis.
Yeah.
We can't control what an artist feels. Like
Right.
that's not. If we did, we would never be signing any artists because
Yeah.
no one would want to create under the Specktators.
Yeah.
So yeah, they don't. No one directly represents exactly what me and Packy's values are. Like that would never be the case.
Yeah. So yeah, that's good. Don't assume that. You know what I mean?
Right.
If you hear Mo and I say something, that's our thoughts. That's
Right.
not Cyrus's thoughts. That's not Apollo's thoughts. That's not Marcus's thoughts. If you hear them say something, don't think that's my thoughts.
Right.
Trust me, I've seen Cyrus tweet some shit that I'm like, nah. And he's probably seen me do the same thing.
Right.
That's fine.
Yeah. No. It's different people.
But yeah, good question.
All right. Is that it?
That is it.
All right.
Come to the show tonight.
Yep. Get tickets. They're still, well, you can get them at the door. They're probably not available today. So,
Yep. Get them at the door.
okay. Let's get out of here.
When's this dropping?
Today.
It's lit! Go peep this new Marcus Ryan. Bam, 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 bam.